Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out at the range playing with a new rifle I just received from H&K. This is a T&E gun. If I like the way that it shoots, I may wind up trying to buy it from them. But what I have here is an MR762A1 LRP. This is their long-range rifle. Now this rifle looks very similar to the G28 designated marksman's or sniper rifle that H&K has out there for the military market, but H&K has this weird tradition of not wanting to sell actual military firearms to civilians. So this is the civilian version of that, which is basically a modded up MR762A1. It does have the G28 stock on it. It does not have a Schmidt and Bender, unfortunately. This one has a loophole. It's a VXR Patrol. It's a 3x9 with a 40mm objective and a 30mm tube. Has a standard rail system on it that you'll find on the MR762 rifle in the same barrel. It does have an ergo grip on it, and it has flat dark earth coloring to it. It is a .308 caliber rifle, 7.62 NATO, and I'm just out here to sight it in, bring you guys along. This is the first time I've had it out to the range. I just got it into the shop a couple of days ago. So this is my first chance to fire it. So I just want to bring you guys along. We will do a full review of this rifle. I also want to compare it to a couple other rifles I have that are gas guns. Now, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of the Desert Tech SRS-A1 bolt-action long-range rifle, and that's my bolt-action gun of choice. The reason I'm looking at this rifle is because I'm looking for a gas gun to continue my long-range series of videos. And a gas gun means that it's semi-automatic. It's using gas to operate the action. So the MR762A1 LRP is definitely on the table, but I want to compare it also to my Reaper, which is an LWRC. You guys have seen that before on the channel. It's a great shooting rifle. And I also have a DPMS G2 SAS. And so I'm going to compare the three rifles. They have a different price point. We have the DPMS G2, which is probably the most affordable of the rifles that are AR-15 style. Then we have the LWRC that's kind of nestled in there in the middle. And then we have the LRP here, which is over $5,000, but it comes in a nice kit, which I'll show you here in a few minutes. But anyway, I'm tired of talking. I really want to shoot this thing. So here goes the first 20 rounds. I'm just going to confirm 0 on the scope, and then I'm going to shoot it for some groups at 100 yards, and then we'll take it out to the long range later. That's got some military ball in it right now. And I just want to make sure it's on paper, then I'll put some match ammo in it. I really hate wasting my match ammunition to 0 rifles. So I have no idea where this gun's shooting. I have a target down at about 25 yards. Once I get it on paper at 25, I'm going to move it out to 100. All right, it's definitely zeroed, so it is hitting to point of amp 25 yards. What I'm going to do is go ahead and clear the weapon. I'm going to move my target out to 100 yards, and we'll shoot some groups with it and see how it does. Now, I will say that the controls on this are obviously very familiar. It's just a standard AR-15, has a big charging handle on it. You can see that it has something like a gunfighter grip here, so you can get good purchase on it. To charge it from just one side, you don't have to do the claw thing. Also has a bolt release here and a magazine release on the other side. These are the magazines that it uses. It comes with both a 20-round magazine that you see here and also a 10-round magazine if you want to get a little bit lower in the dirt. But I found that this thing really doesn't set too high with the 20-round magazine. We have what is a LaRue mounted Harris-type bipod up here in the front that I can move left and right and swivel a little bit, and I can lock it in. But that's a really low-setting bipod, and I was able to get it on this bench, and the magazine wasn't touching while I was shooting. So ergonomics are very nice, and the recoil impulse is awesome. All right, let's run down range, move that target out of the way. Make sure this is clear. Very smooth rifle. So I've moved the target out to 100 yards, and I'm going to go ahead and shoot some 168 grain Black Hills .308 match ammo. And we'll see how this groups. Now I'm just trying to get the rifle sighted in today. I'm not going to try to shoot for the smallest group possible. I was looking for a makeshift rear rest, so I just grabbed a towel I keep in the Jeep to wipe up wet stuff. So I'm going to use that for a rear rest and just a bipod on the front. When we get this thing out to long range, we'll really shoot it for groups and see what it's capable of. But I just want to get everything dialed in. I've brought this cheek piece up. It uses a metric Allen wrench, and I can move this cheek piece up. It stays stationary as you move the stock in and out. You can see how it stays stationary as you pick your length of pull. So I've got that adjusted where my cheek sets just right to look through this VXR scope loopy. And I'm just kind of getting acclimated to the gun. So far, it's a really interesting rifle to shoot. The recoil impulse is nice and mild. So I think I got 10 rounds in here. We'll shoot a 5-round group. All right, let's see what we get here. Sorry I'm not wearing glasses, guys. I don't like using glasses. I've mentioned in other videos before when I'm shooting optics. Doesn't make it right. Now the 9-power scope, I am used to a little bit more magnification. This thing obviously isn't set up for extremely long range. So I got it dialed into 9 power right now. And with the lack of magnification, it's not going to shoot super tight groups. The crosshair is also a little bit thick. It's not a very fine crosshair. It does appear to be a mill reticle and mill adjustments, which I do like. I cannot stand the crossover scopes that have mill reticles and MOA adjustments. They drive me batty. All right, we'll see if we can get a decent 5-round group out of this thing. All right, so what I can tell you right now is I don't have a very solid aiming point. I'm just shooting at letters on a target, on a paper IP6 size target. And this crosshair is so broad that it's really hard to get a precise aiming point. I fired the first 2 rounds that landed about like that, and what I wound up doing is putting the crosshair between those 2 rounds to get a more precise aiming point. So this scope definitely isn't set up for extreme precision, but it's hitting exactly where I want it to hit. But the group doesn't look all that impressive in terms of size just yet. I'm gonna have to play with this. So it's a second focal plane scope. That means when I dial the magnification back, that crosshair actually gets more broad and less precise. So I can't back off the magnification to try to get a more precise reticle. All right, let's run down range and see what we got. Let me clear the weapon here really quick. The trigger actually seems to be getting a little bit better just after a few rounds. It's starting to surprise me when it goes off, which is good. It was a little bit creepy there for the first few rounds. All right, so this was me shooting at 25 yards just to confirm 0 with military ball ammo, not precise ammo. And here's that group I just shot at 100. These are the 2 bullet holes I was telling you about. I shot one here, shot one here, and I put the crosshair right there. My last 3 rounds actually came into a nicer group. I really couldn't make out that B. The crosshair is thicker than my finger. It totally obscured that B. I couldn't get a very precise sight picture. So with everything, that's a 1.5 inch group. The last 3 rounds, about 3/4 of an inch. Oh, actually, wow, that's 2 holes right there, so it's much smaller than that tear in the paper. So that's a 1/4 inch, 3 rounds. So let's see if we can go for something a little bit tighter. What I'm going to do to give myself a more precise aiming point is use one of these sticky target things. Put that right there. And hopefully that black diamond will give me a more precise aiming point. Maybe we can get that group size down a little bit. Not too bad. I think it can do better. And it might not like that Black Hills. We brought some Federal gold medal match out as well, so we'll try them both. Let's head back to the shooting bench. All right, 5 more rounds of the Black Hills 168 grain stuff. Hopefully that aiming point gets me a little tighter group. I think I got the magazine locked in. There we go. All right. Let's see what she can do now. Hopefully I can do my part. Wow, well, what I can see from here with this 9-power scope it did good. It did really good. That seems to have really helped, giving myself a little bit better aiming point. Let's run down and see what we got. Weapons clear, on safe. I'm excited to see what this did. Holy cow. That's a 5-shot group. Center to center. It's a little under a ½ inch. That is incredible. That is the first 308 semi-automatic gas gun I've got a group like that out of it, and that's the first tight group that I've shot with it. I mean, that's the third group I've shot with it. 1 to 0, 1 here that you guys saw, and that's my first real group that I fired with it. And that blows me away. That is unbelievable accuracy out of a semi-automatic 308 rifle. Unbelievable. Oh, now I got to figure out how to come up with money to buy this thing. Let's see if we can do it again, because that's almost unbelievable. That's incredible. Yeah, very happy with that.
You want to tell them what you're doing?
I'm posting pictures on Instagram. This is why you guys should follow me on Instagram. This will go up hours before the video goes up. This is why it takes so long to shoot videos. I'm always messing around online. Well, this is usually when you go home and say, hey, look what I did, and you stop shooting for the day because you know you can't do better than that. As Aaron the cameraman is reminding me, we know the gun can do it now. It's just a matter of, can I do it a second time? This is the worst part. Pressure is definitely on. But holy cow, if it does it twice in a row, I'm not going to be able to live without this gun. All right, here we go. All right, definitely got one flyer. That would be me. Let's go see what it did. All right, so here's my flyer. I saw that. That was actually my first round. The rifle went off when I wasn't ready. I wasn't settled on the target. But the last 4 pretty much did the same as that 5-shot group. You're looking at about a ½ inch, maybe a little under. With that one flyer, it's about 1 1/4 inches. So still very impressive. I still like the way the gun shoots the trigger. I'm getting used to it. It's definitely a 2-stage trigger, and once you get used to it, it breaks fairly cleanly. A little bit over travel, but it breaks fairly cleanly. I think once I get used to it, I'll definitely be able to do pretty cool things with it. Let's do one more group, just to see if I can settle myself in before we call it a day. It's getting kind of cold out here. Winter is upon us. All right, still impressed with the performance, very much so. All right, one more group with the Black Hills. May try the Federal, I may not today. See how it shoots, but yeah, gun's definitely capable of pretty impressive accuracy. Sometimes I'm not. Let's see if we can do one more here. Technique is everything with gas guns. You do one thing just slightly different, and your groups go all over the place. that last one. Opened it up. It was doing exactly the same as that first group, and that last one was just a little low. Before we run down range, I decided to shoot a few rounds of Federal Gold. What the heck. We're out of stickies, so this will be the last formal group of the day. Here we go. See how this Federal does. All right, looks fairly decent. Now let's go downrange. All right, so this is the Black Hills group here, and it measures at just 7/8 of an inch, maybe a little less, just a little over 3/4 of an inch, center to center, yeah, about 3/4 of an inch. So that's pretty good. This is the Federal group. Just ripping the paper a little bit here. You can see the shot started walking across. That was my first shot, and this was the rest of them. And that one is right at an inch. So it definitely favors the Black Hills ammo. That still blows my mind. That's more along the lines of what I was expecting. 3/4 of an inch, 7/8 of, yeah, probably right around 7/8 of an inch. That's probably the best group my Reaper has ever shot. So it's definitely capable of better accuracy than my Reaper, it seems, at this point. I'm going to keep playing with it, get more acclimated to the rifle, try to get that thing bedded down at the long range, and I think I can do even better. I also think that if I change the scopes on it, got a more precise reticle, I know I could tighten those groups up even more. So the gun shoots incredibly well. Let's head back to the bench. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed taking a sneak peek at the MR762 LRP rifle, which we'll be doing much more video on here in the future, including a full review. I'm going to put the gun away now. The accuracy was actually quite impressive. I would say that of the gas guns I own, the Reaper and the G2, it seems to be capable of slightly better accuracy than both, but I can't make that determination just yet. I'm going to get all three of them out to the range, do some more extensive testing with all of them. But what I will say is I'm quite impressed so far with the LRP. The trigger I've gotten used to, it's actually a pretty decent trigger. And the ergonomics, everything else about it are spot on. It's a very gentle shooting .308. Good rifle overall, but yes, it is pricey. This is the case that it comes in. Nice Pelican case. We'll talk more about this in the full review. Fitted case. Put your 20-round magazine away and close it up for another day. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions, of course, about anything you've seen in the channel, you can ask those questions on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/military arms. Also, please swing by, check us out on Instagram. Put a link to all that stuff down below. And also, I invite you to come by and check out Copper Custom, our online store. And again, I'll put a link to Copper Custom down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon.